One of the most iconic cards in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the magic card Pot of Greed, which if you've watched the original animated series for any length of time, you'd know that
it allows me to draw 2 cards from my deck.
Unfortunately, in the actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, the ability to freely draw 2 represents an Avengers level threat, leading Pot of Greed to its likely final resting place on the Forbidden and Limited list nearly 20 years ago. But then Konami went, but what if it said draw 3? The very first card that lets you draw 3 cards was another very early Yu-Gi-Oh! Staple, the equally iconic Graceful Charity. Graceful Charity has the effect, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. The idea behind Graceful Charity was, if a card was to have an extremely powerful effect like draw 3, it would need to have an equally powerful downside, like discard 2. Graceful Charity is also serving a near 20-year sentence on the Forbidden and Limited list. At any rate, Konami would continue to experiment with the Graceful Charity format on what I'm unceremoniously dubbing charity likes, tacking on the Graceful Charity effect verbatim to cards like number 7 Lucky Straight and Stained Glass of Dark and Light. Number 7 Lucky Straight has the effect, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, roll a 6-sided die twice, then, if the total roll was exactly 7, apply one of these effects. Send all other cards in the field to the graveyard, special summon 1 monster from your hand or from either graveyard, and of course, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. Stained Glass of Dark and Light has the effect, apply any of the following effects in sequence, depending on the types of effect monsters you control. Fairy, you can draw 3 cards, then place 2 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck in any order. On the flip side, sometimes Konami tried to put certain restrictions on the charity-like effects, often forcing duelists to commit to certain strategies if they wanted to activate the draw 3 discard 2 effect. This type of draw 3 card includes the likes of Sylvan Charity and Danger Zone. Sylvan Charity has the effect, draw 3 cards, then if you have a Sylvan card in your hand, reveal 2 cards from your hand, including at least 1 Sylvan card, then place them on the top of your deck in any order. Otherwise, reveal your entire hand, then place it on the top of your deck in any order. Danger Zone has the effect, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards, including at least 1 danger card. Or, if you have no danger cards in your hand, show your entire hand and shuffle it into the deck. Part of the reason why Graceful Charity is so powerful is that its effect allows you to draw 3 cards first, and then discard the 2 ne'er-do-wells in your hand later. The next category of reverse charity likes seek to close this loophole by forcing duelists to pay up front before reaping any of the rewards. For example, look no further than the card Moray of Greed. Moray of Greed has the effect, shuffle 2 water monsters from your hand into the deck, then draw 3 cards. All we have to do is change out water monsters for gladiator beasts to discover our next reverse charity like in Gladiator Beasts Respite. Shuffle 2 gladiator beast cards from your hand into your deck, then draw 3 cards. Another similar effect can be found in the much more punishing card, Drastic Draw. Drastic Draw has the effect, banish all monsters you control with a minimum of 2, and then draw 3 cards. And if that wasn't punishing enough, for the rest of the turn you can only summon Cyberse monsters. You can only activate 1 Drastic Draw per turn. Next up, we have a category of card that I'm dubbing the Candy Crush likes, as they reward you for gathering a certain combination of cards by giving you the sweet, sweet draw 3. First up, we have the aptly named 7. 7 has the effect, when there are 3 face-up 7 cards on your side of the field, draw 3 cards from your deck, then destroy all 7 cards. Keeping in theme with the numbers, up next we have 3 Humped Lakuta. 1 hump for the like, comment, and subscribe you're about to leave, right? 3 Hump Lakuta has the effect, if there are 3 face-up 3 Hump Lakuta cards on your side of the field, tribute 2 of them to draw 3 cards. Following in the footsteps of Exodia, Triangle O requires you to gather 3 specific cards before symbolically obliterating your opponent with a draw 3 effect. Triangle O has the effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 each of Crystal Skull, Ashoka Pillar, and Cabrera Stone in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw 3 cards. You can only use 1 Triangle O effect per turn, and only once during that turn. Triangle O can also destroy all cards on the field if you control all 3 of those aforementioned cards, which is a very convoluted way to set up the draw 3. Last in this category, we have Avatar of the Pot, which requires you to do the impossible. Avatar of the Pot has the effect, by sending 1 Pot of Greed from your hand to the graveyard, draw 3 cards from your deck. Of course, this is impossible not only because Pot of Greed is banned, and even if it wasn't, I don't think anyone would resist the temptation of slamming down a Pot of Greed and yelling out a few iconic catchphrases. And last but not least, because I forgot it on the original script, we have Eye Contact, which rewards you for drawing 2 copies of the same field spell by giving you a draw 3. This category of draw 3 cards rewards players for playing the long game, awarding a draw 3 to players who are willing to play an entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Before even having the chance to resolve their draw 3 effect. First up, we have the actually competitively viable card, the Beginning of the End. The Beginning of the End has the effect, if you have 7 or more dark monsters in your graveyard, banish 5 dark monsters from your graveyard, and draw 3 cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX's flagship hero archetype gets 2 cards that can draw 3, with Legacy of a Hero and Fifth Hope. Legacy of a Hero has the effect, return 2 fusion monsters from your graveyard to the extra deck that list a hero monster as material, and draw 3 cards. You can only activate 1 Legacy of a Hero per turn. Fifth Hope has the effect, target 5 elemental hero cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 2 cards. But you can draw 3 cards if you control no other cards on your side of the field or in your hand when you activate this card. Our last category of draw 3 cards are cards that don't neatly fall into any other category. Even my creative genius can't draw a through line here. First off, if you like your draw 3 to be earned through rigorous bouts of gambling, then Lucky Punch is the card for you. Lucky Punch has the effect, once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can toss a coin 3 times. If the result is 3 heads, draw 3 cards. But if the result is 3 tails, destroy this card. And if this face-up card on the field is destroyed, you lose 6,000 life points. Last but certainly not least, we have the largest subversion of expectations with the card Psy Impulse, which is the only card on this list to let your opponent draw 3 cards. Psy Impulse has the effect, tribute 1 psychic monster, return all cards in your opponent's hand to the deck, then they draw 3 cards. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a disclaimer! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a card game with over 12,000 cards, with most of them having text effects that look a little something like this. If I were to sit here and list every card that could draw 3, we'd be here all day. Card of Demise can draw up to 3, Max C can drop to infinity. For that reason, I'm only covering cards that explicitly one-up Pot of Greed by drawing exactly 3 cards. And that's it. That's every Yu-Gi-Oh! Card that can draw exactly 3 cards. Stay tuned for the long-awaited sequel, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that can draw exactly 4 cards. It's Saryuja Skull Dread. That's the whole video. And hey, follow me on Twitter, sub on my YouTube, like the video, you get the idea. Bye-bye. Before even having the chance to activate their... Before even having the chance.